Hi, I'm Martyn Bridges. I'm the Director of Technical Services at Worcester Bosch Group. And I've been in this industry 44 years now. Initially as an apprentice heating engineer, and that in those days was a 4-year apprenticeship. And we did heating and ventilating, and we also had a year of pipeline welding, oxyacetylene pipeline welding, and then metal arc welding. But I stayed on for a further year and did advanced City & Guilds in domestic heating. And I joined Worcester about 2 or 3 years after I'd finished my apprenticeship. The done thing then was the company you work for tended to make you redundant because all the government funding had ended. So I worked for myself for 2 or 3 years, working in people's houses, fitting gas fires and cookers and central heating systems. But I joined Worcester in 1986, and I've been here ever since in a number of roles, all technically based. So I was a technical services engineer for about 4 years. That was answering inquiries from installers, doing heating designs, writing letters, etc. There was no internet, of course, then, so it was all face-to-face or on the phone or literally written letters. I have worked in a number of roles here. I was a training engineer for several years, a product manager for several years, and then I ended up basically managing those departments as well. Nowadays, my role is I have the responsibility for 3 departments, but I also represent Worcester a lot of the time on trade associations. So we're members of all the technology trade associations, the technologies that we deal with. So that's the HHIC, Offtech for oil-fired boilers, HHIC is for gas, Heat Pump Association for heat pumps naturally, Hot Water Association and so on. So it involves quite a lot of representation of Worcester at these trade meetings and contributing to standards and regulations. I also meet quite a lot with government officials, BEIS officials, civil servants when they're thinking about things such as the heat and building strategy, because we're aiming for a net zero carbon future by 2050. So that's with heating contributing about 15% of the CO2 emissions of the country, it impacts upon us very much. So if I could offer any advice, it would be to get into the heating industry. It doesn't necessarily mean that you stay doing that same role. You can venture into other areas, as I can sort of testify to. But notwithstanding that, it's just a great job anyhow, particularly with this exciting future we've got where gas and oil, as we typically know it, will be removed basically, and it will be replaced with either a new technology, electricity, heat pumps, or potentially hydrogen for gas and bio oil and bio LPG to replace off-gas grid heating systems.